Excuse me. Oh, okay. Let's get started then. Marker. Hello. I am Sensei Kevlar. Welcome back to the dojo. We're going to look at some charts this morning, but before we do, we had a question from the dojo yesterday that I wanted to repeat and give an answer to. The question was regarding dollar cost averaging. He was saying mathematically this works in not losing money. However, in order to make it work, one must start off with a very small starting position in this volatile market with an expected drop of 95%. The problem is that when we plan for 95% down or 2,000% up, and within 12 months the market only moves 30%, it would be very, very marginal gains since 99% of the portfolio would be sitting on the side waiting for the opportunity. What is the fix for this type of situation? This is a great question. I mean, first of all, very astute, very good reasoning on this that was applied. The answer is that you would not generally have 99% of your portfolio sitting on the side waiting for an opportunity. The reason for that is you're not just going to do this across one opportunity. You're going to do this across multiple opportunities. You're going to do this across opportunities that are going down and bringing you into those opportunities all the time, and also in opportunities that are going up and making you the money all the time. 99% of your portfolio should not be sitting on the side. 99% of your portfolio should be allocated for all of those opportunities, with some percentage of that allocation actively going into dollar cost averaging at any given time. Now, it might be the case that sometimes you do end up with a very small win because you bought, and then the market, you bought your very small one position, and the market goes up, and then you got to sell, and you basically, you could have made more if you had bought more. The problem with that is you don't know when that's actually going to occur. And so the strategy becomes to go ahead and take those small wins, knowing that in other places we're going to have to spend more money in order to create wins. Those small wins are actually, good things in the long run, because what that means is that you don't have to tie up your money in an opportunity for a long time while it continues dollar cost average against you. You've already made your money. You can now go apply that money to another opportunity. And it's this constant cycle of taking your wins and reinvesting them and rebalancing your portfolio and re-looking for new situations, new opportunities to get into, that will keep you with a whole lot more than 99% of your portfolio sitting on the side waiting for an opportunity. But we'll get to that. We'll get to more balance. I just really want to address the fact that, this is the worst case scenario where, you allocated all of your portfolio and then the market goes sideways and then it never comes down and you never do any buying in, and then it goes up and you just make all of your money. Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is that just doesn't happen very often. This is more about time in the market than timing the market. If I knew how to time the market, if I knew how to tell you when it was going to go up and when it was going to go down, if I just knew that ahead of time, I just tell you that instead. I just tell you, look, the market's about to go up. May as well just, you know, wait and sell. Look, the market's about to go down. May as well wait and buy. I would just tell you that instead. Unfortunately, I don't. And so we have to play this little game where we're allocating for the portfolio, for the opportunity, and then the opportunity may not happen the way we think it does. And what you'll find is if you play this game enough, if you do this enough times, you'll find yourself in opportunities. You'll find yourself in markets that you think might have gone sideways or up, but instead they're going down, and now your portfolio is allocated. So this is really the worst case scenario, and what I think you'll find is that when you start diversifying across a lot of opportunities, those markets will some of those opportunities will very quickly go down. Then you won't be sitting with 99% of your portfolio sitting on the side. This is a great question, and I really want to address this more. I really want to come up with more of a plan to address this in the future. But let's get to actually taking a look at some charts. So yesterday we were looking at how to find support and resistance, and I just want to give you sort of the most basic technique for really doing this, right? If you're having trouble finding support and resistance, what you can do is you can just take your cursor and go along with your cursor, and then anytime you see a place where you're at a peak and it's about to come back down, scan your eye to the right. Because what you're seeing is that the crosshairs have little dotted lines. Scan your eye to the right, and if the line intercepts another peak, then you have a correlated resistance point. So right here, I'm just tracing my cursor along this line right here, and I come to this point and I'm at a peak, so I'm going to stop and I'm going to scan my eye to the right. Do I come across another peak that I intercept? Yeah, right here. Do I come across another peak that I intercept? Yeah, right here and right here. So what we would say is that this is a highly statistically correlated resistance point. Okay. Then we would do the same thing, and scanning along, we come across here, and then we come down here, and we scan to the right because we're at a valley and we're about to turn around. When we scan to the right, do we see it intercept another valley? Yeah, we do. Sorry, wrong tool. We see it intercept another valley, so we go ahead and put a line there. See, we see it intercept over here, okay? Now scanning further to the right, do we see an intercept here? Absolutely. Here's a place where resistance later became support. So just by tracing with your cursor, every time you hit a peak or a valley, anytime you hit resistance or support, scan your eye to the right and see if you find an intercept. And if you do find an intercept, go ahead and place that line there. Because what you're finding is you're finding statistical correlations. You're finding places where the market, and I really want to dive into this right now, you're finding places where the market has also done the same analysis. They have performed the same analysis and they said, oh look, it stopped here and then it stopped here again and then it sort of stopped here when it was on its way down. What that means is I'm going to go ahead and program my bot for doing buying when it reaches this point. And what happens when I program my bot for doing buying at this point? Look at all this volume. Why is volume spiking at this point right here? Why is it turning around and going back up? I'm telling you why it's turning around and going back up, because other traders are doing this exact same analysis that you're doing right here. And they're programming their bots in exactly the same way that you're thinking of doing your trading. And as a result, when we hit that historical level, when we hit that point, the bots activate and they do a bunch of buying, and that spikes volume. When volume spikes, that in turn signals other bots, and other bots do more buying. Okay? And then what happens is we go from, 3,800 to 4,400, and look at this. This is a correlated resistance points. Well, do you think the people who were doing the buying down here again set their bots to be doing the selling up here, having made how much money? Let's find out how much money they made. 30%? 30% in a couple of days? 30% in a couple of days? Yeah, of course they did. They said, yeah, I'll take my 30% and I'll sell. And they're waiting for down here to be doing their buying. We're waiting for this to come down here, and then our bots are all going to be programmed to buy on this line again, because that's what the analysis tells us to do. This works not because of some magic. This works not because of the it works because of the statistical correlation, but the statistical correlation is in turn what is driving the decision making of the other traders, which are in turn affecting the direction of the market. What you're seeing with these support and resistance lines is you are seeing other traders coming in and drawing these lines exactly the same way I'm drawing them. And they're coming through and they're making their plans exactly the same way that I'm telling you to make them. And the reason that this is effective is when we all trade the same, when we all buy on this line and then buy harder on this line, the market really does go up and we really do make our money. And then the market goes down again. And the market is very much trapped in these cycles. It's very much trapped in these cycles of market manipulation from bots. So again, you know, just taking these lines, do we have an intercept? Yes, we have an intercept. Going up, coming down, do we have an intercept? Yeah, sort of. Close enough, right? What about coming down to here? Yes, we've already plotted out this line pretty hard, right? Coming up here, do we have an intercept? Maybe a little one. You know, it gets kind of choppy up in these peaks right here, but I definitely say that there's some real, you know, some heavy correlation between that peak right there. Okay, so now we have a plan for selling, you know, for where we're going to do our selling at. What about our plan for buying? Okay, well, our plan for buying looks like this right here. Okay, every time it comes down and turns around, well, these are the same places that the other traders are going to come around and program their bots to turn around the market. Here's our plan for buying, all the way down to $1,000. Can we find another level under 1,000? Yeah, we can sit here and find those levels all day long. Let's move on now. Had a suggestion for Raven Coin, RVN, BTC. This is an interesting one. A relatively new market. Looks like it was just released back in, made available back in October. And what immediately happened when it did is it saw a massive spike in interest. Okay. Now here is where the previous support point kicked in down around October 15th. Let's go ahead and just stick a line there. Okay. Then it started flying up, and then it came back down, and then it came up again and came back down. Okay. Scanning to the right, I can see we already have correlation. I'm going to put a line there. Okay. And if you didn't know to buy this line, that's fine, because it came up and then you knew to buy this line here. But then what happened? Then it came down more, and it did one of these, and it did one of these, and it's coming down here, right? It came down and it bounced very briefly off of this line right here. Excuse me. This line right here, you could have been doing some buying right here to be prepared for some selling right here. So what did you need to do next? You need to be prepared for this line to be doing some buying like right here, and again be buying right here. Okay. Could it go down beyond that? Yeah. Yeah, it can absolutely go down further. There is room to run down here. And in later lessons, we're going to talk about ways to figure out what that downward run might look like, and where we can plot lines where we don't necessarily have historical and support and resistance points. But meanwhile, just assuming that you were up here and you had dollar cost averaged here and you had dollar cost average here, could you be set up for a sell right here if you had tripled up, quadrupled up, 5x'd up down here? Could you be ready for a big time sell right here to make your money on this? The answer is yes. XLM BTC. Good old Stellar Lumens. My buddy Jeb. Miss you, Jeb. It's been too long since we talked. Back in 2018, this had a floor way down here. It quickly popped up and went down to this point, and then it never really went down again, below this point again, until very recently. Okay. Let's see what other levels we can find here. Here's a pretty heavily correlated line right here. Comes up, resistance, resistance becomes support. This support that sort of got broken. Here we thought we were going to break through, support came through, and oh, the breakdown of the trend. Okay. Well, what do we have here? Do we have lines that are popping out from these wicks right here? Certainly. This is the original point at which it opened right here, and then plummeted all the way down. So could we expect to see some support at this line? Yeah. Well, what else could we expect to see? We could expect it to see fall right on through that line and come right on down into here. And potentially even further. If you want to make money in this market, you better have your coin lined up and have a plan. Go ahead and enter, go ahead and make the plan for putting the order in on the exchange right here, tripling up, quadrupling up, 5xing up right here, and doing it again right here. Okay. And then again, in later lessons, we don't have this tool available to us just yet, but we will in the next lesson. We'll figure out how we can even figure out what the lines beneath that are and how we can plan for that. ENG BTC Enigma. Cool. Check this guy out. Back in November of 2018, it definitely saw a serious bottom here before it saw its initial spike. Now, we've certainly gone down and touched that again, but what we're doing is we're riding along this level right here, okay? Pretty heavily correlated resistance right here that here has become very strong support. We're seeing spikes in the volume, and what we can expect to see, you can expect, what I'm telling you, indubitably, is that this market is going to do one of three things, right? It's either going to turn around and come up to here, to this level right here, before turning around and coming back down again. Or, alternatively, it's going to go down to this level right here, before coming back up and doing a rebound to this level right here. Or, alternatively, it's going to go sideways in this little trend that we're seeing right here. And we'll talk more about how we can plot sideways trends and how we can figure out when they're going to break out of them in the next lesson. But what I want to point out to you is that we already have an opportunity that we could be setting up for ourselves, right? We could be assuming that we had been dollar cost averaging all the way down here and get into a fairly decently large position, even if we hadn't already, knowing that we could need to come down here and dollar cost average again, okay? So in the initial scheduling of our plan, we assumed that we were always going to use one position here. Well, that's not necessarily true of this situation, because what we could do is we could pretend in our plan that we started doing our dollar cost averaging right here. Okay, even though we really didn't. And then we made a plan to go ahead and be doing some buying here, be doing some buying here, right on all of our correlated support and resistance lines, right? Be doing some buying here. And what we would have done is if we had started here, we would have been dollar cost averaging this whole way down. We would have ended up with a fairly big position at this point right here. Well, is it okay to have a fairly big position at this point right here? Well, yeah, especially if you want to take advantage of this motion right here. You want to have a fairly big position right here. Okay, so while I said you always want to start with one position at the top of the market, this may be what you consider the top of the market, and you may consider that you have already dollar cost averaged in with a plan to be dollar cost averaging in down, 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 down. That doesn't change, but what does change is this doesn't have to be a little itty bitty tiny position. This doesn't have to be your one position. No, not too late at all. This doesn't have to be a little tiny position. This can be a relatively large position in accordance with the plan that you made that had you dollar cost averaging. Now, the joy of coming into this plan late in the game is instead of your profit line being somewhere up here from having dollar cost averaged as the market comes down, well, guess where your profit line is? It's right here where you bought your first position. Any motion up is profitable. Take your 10%, sell it, get out, wait for it to come back down, get back in. If this thing goes down 5x, then get out. Either way, this is a plan that will make you money in this market, no matter what direction the market ends up going. PNG ETH. Okay. Again, a similar story, but this actually shows better volatility. This shows more regular patterns on its volatility. You see right here, we definitely do have some correlated support and resistance. This is support, this is support. This is really heavy support, heavily correlated support, right? So where is it going to come up to? Well, obviously right there. We know that. We know that that's where the traders are going to place their sell orders for having bought in right here. We know the traders are going to place their sell orders for right here and push the market back down. Maybe it can go up again, but I'll tell you what the more likely scenario is. The more likely scenario is it does one of these. Do you have a plan in place? Do you have buy orders in place? Do you have a position in case you're wrong and it doesn't do one of these and it does one of these instead? It's easy to make money when you have a plan in place. Yeah, 5x. I mean, that's what I was talking about in the sheet. Remember when I modified the multiplier? Let me pull up the sheet. Sorry about this. That's probably it. No, that's not it. It's in my other account. There we go. Yeah, so what I was saying is that, you know, if this is your starting position at the top of the market, then you can apply a different multiplier, right? If you use just a basic 2x multiplier, then, you know, the problem with a 2x multiplier is that your profit only goes down halfway in between. You know, if you start here and you DCA here, then your profit line, let's draw it. Your profit line is the 50% mark on that motion. Right? If you're 2xing, if you DCA for the first time here and then double up down here, well, your profit line is right here, in between these 2 points, right? You didn't make any money yet. Okay? However, if you 3x, if you triple up on your position, if my browser would like to respond here. If you triple up on your position, okay, what you end up doing is you end up with more of the thing, but what happens is that drags your profit line down. Okay? And if you 4x, okay, that brings it down even more. Believe it or not, that's actually the origin of the word. You ever heard of currency markets being called Forex before? The reason that they're called Forex is because people use dollar cost averaging on them, and 4x seems to be the magic number in those markets for making money. 4x. Okay. If you 5x, okay, once again, all you're doing is you're dragging down your profit line and everything above that. And so you see, I started out dollar cost averaging with a 2x, and I didn't make any money on this motion right here. Okay, but when I dragged it down to a 5x dollar cost average, I realized the foreign exchange. No, that's the joke. If you 5x, what happens is this becomes a profitable opportunity right here. Yeah, that was a joke. Crypto Spaces. You know how you play jokes on noobs and you tell them things that aren't true? That was a joke. One of those. Anyway, the whole point of this is by increasing your multiplier, you drastically increase your profit potential. So this is something that I can measure in a spreadsheet long before I spend any money, long before I make go in here and do any buying. I can figure out 5x would have made me money historically. 5x would have not made me money historically, right? It's a good one. Let me see. BAT-BTC. Here's a nice one. Here's a great opportunity. Let's draw some support and resistance. Definitely support right there. Clearly. Okay, where else? We're just going to drag. We're going to drag our cursor along. Obviously, we've got something happening right here. Bring it back on down. Obviously, we have something happening right here. Okay. Got some more lines that are being drawn by wicks right here that things plummeted down to. Right here that things plummeted down to, and even way over here. See this really red wick that went all the way down here? Okay. This could serve as our lines, but I really want to get some better tools for drawing these lines, these invisible lines below, and we'll focus on that tomorrow. But for now, what we can say is, I mean, look at where we are. We're right on this support line, right? So what are the possibilities? We know what the three possibilities are. One possibility is it does one of these, right? Another possibility is it does one of these. What's the third possibility? Third possibility is it does one of these. Okay. If it does one of these, we definitely want to have a position. We definitely want to have, you know, plan like we had dollar cost average and taken ourselves a position right here. But if it does one of these, we want to be prepared. We need to know that this position may need to 5x here, 5x here, 5x here, 5x here. Okay, so knowing that, we can figure out how much of our portfolio we're going to have allocated, how we're going to have allocated this, you know. More in-depth look at the profit calculation. Yeah, right now, we are using the most basic strategy that we possibly can. Okay, so by dollar cost averaging, let's say that, you know, we really did buy the peak of the market. Man, we really screwed ourselves hard, right? And then we had a dollar cost average down here, okay? So what that would do is that would put our profit line right here, okay? What we're saying is, you know, we've dollar cost average, we started here, we doubled up here. Now what we're doing is we're waiting for the market to go above what we dollar cost averaged our price to. More to the point, we're looking for it to go above, and this is the strategy that we're using. It's a basic strategy. We're looking for it to go above, you know, 10%. And then we sell. Okay, so if this is our profit line, and everything below this is unprofitable, and everything above this is profitable, and then what we're looking for is we're looking for it to give us 10% profit. So we're looking for the market to make a return to this line and then go 10% higher, and then we sell. Sell everything. Okay, so whatever amount you have spent at the bottom here, what you're going to do is you're going to make 10% on that amount. Now, some of you might be thinking that 10% doesn't sound like a lot. You're wrong. I'm telling you, you're dead wrong. Take any amount and make 10% on it and do that 10 times. You just doubled your amount. You just doubled your money. Would you like to double your money? I like doubling my money. 10%? It's an easy target to achieve in these markets, okay? Especially when you do more than dollar cost average on the double. If you triple up, you bring your profit line down here, okay? Then what we're doing is we're looking for 10% profit above that. And what that looks like is, you know, 10% right there, okay? So we're looking for it to go to here, which is doable, maybe. But what happens if we quadruple up? Now we're looking for 10% above this line. You know, there's 10% right there. We're looking for it to make a return to right here. Okay. If we 5x up, that brings our profit line down here. Now we're looking for a 10% above that line. Okay. What we're doing here is we're developing a strategy that if you take this very basic strategy and you take a small amount of money and you buy into the market and then you wait for it to become profitable and then 10% beyond that, you will make 10% of your money. If this is the basic strategy that you just apply over and over and over again, and you do this 10 times, you'll take whatever amount that you have. You'll take whatever amount that you have and you will double that amount. Yeah, I agree. 10% of... you were saying, Crypto Spaces was saying, with this DCA, I'm still confused about these positions. 10% of 1 cent is much less interesting than 10% of 300. You'll keep winning, but you'll need to win a lot more. It's absolutely correct. Okay, so this is down to your portfolio. If you say, okay, I'm going to go in $300 at this point, what that informs you personally is that you need to have allocated X amount more for right here, and Y amount more for right here, and Z amount more for right here. Do you have the bankroll to do that? If so, if you've got $10,000 ready for this ready for this opportunity, then go ahead and put $300 here because you have a plan in place and you can execute that plan. However, if you don't have that kind of bankroll, you only got $5,000 allocated for this opportunity, you might want to start with $150 here. You need to modify your plan in order to fit your situation for your portfolio. Yeah, rooting for it to go down first and then go up a bit. That's exactly what ends up happening. And in the first sort of week of Dojo, that's kind of the moment that people have, the aha moment, where prior to now, they're excited when it goes up and sad when it goes down. And what I've done is I've flipped those tables around. I've made you get excited when it goes down, because what that's doing is that's creating your opportunity. And when it goes up, that means that it didn't go down enough. Okay? So what you're actually looking for is you're looking for markets that have gone up recently, and then go ahead and place your buy orders. Go ahead and, if the market's up here, go ahead and place your buy order here, 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 and here. Okay? But look, if it's that's the only way to make money is when it comes down again, is to get in. So when it goes up again, you get out. So it goes down again, then you get in, and then it goes up again and you get out. And you can do this in a bear market because it's going up and you're getting out, and it's going down and you're getting in, and it's going up and you're getting out, and it's going down and you're getting in, and it's going up and you're getting out, and then you're staying out. And then you're waiting, and it's coming down, and then you're getting back in. Then you're getting in more, and you're getting in more, and now you're getting out. And now you're waiting. Now you're waiting, now you're waiting, now you're waiting, now you're waiting, now it's coming back down, now you're getting back in, now you're getting back in, okay? This is one of those things that you have to automate. You have to sit here and do this on a regular basis. The joy is in making this work for you in multiple opportunities, and it's when you do this over and over. The path to 1 million profitable trades starts with 1 profitable trade. And if on each and every one of those 1 million profitable trades, all you do is you make $1. You're spending hundreds of dollars, but all you're doing is you're making $1. You're spending hundreds of dollars and you're turning around a single dollar. Well, if you do that 1 million times, you will be a millionaire. Okay, so the path to 1 million profitable trades starts with 1 profitable trade. And what I can tell you is that no one ever went broke taking profits. This is about mindset. This is not about a technique to make you rich quick. This is not about a technique that I can just put my money in and tomorrow I'm going to be a millionaire. Doesn't work. This is a long-term strategy. A long-term strategy, it's a lifestyle. You have to be into the markets. You have to be in the markets. It's about time in the markets, not timing the markets. Okay. So how is X, Y, and Z correlated to the price change? Price percent change? Well, in this case, that's a good question, because what you're finding out is that you might be losing 25% on this motion and 13% on this motion, okay? So it's not necessarily that you're measuring a percentage going down. What you're looking for is you're looking for opportunities to get in where the market could turn around. And what you're going to see is you're going to see in a very highly correlated fashion that the market only ever turns around on highly correlated resistance points, resistance and support points. So if those are the places where we're going to be doing our turning around, these are the places where we want to go ahead and place our bet. It's a bet. We're betting that the market might turn around. We're betting that the market could go down more by having a plan in place. All right, let's do one more. BNB BTC. Oh yeah, man. Check this guy out. Talk about a money maker. All right, what do we got? I definitely see some resistance. Definitely see, or sorry, support at that line. Definitely seeing resistance at this line right here. Come up. See this right here. What about this guy right here? Absolutely. Coming back down, heavily correlated. Support at this line right here. Let me just finish this chart and I'll answer this that question too. Okay. And I think it's a pretty good set of lines right there. Okay. Let's say that we were here, right? Let's say that this is all we knew. We were doing this back in November and we were here, right? Could we have made a plan that had us buying down here and then had that plan get hit and then have that plan make us money right here and get out, only to have us get back in right here, only to have us get out again, only to have us get in again? Where are we going to get in? Gotta get in. Gotta get in right here. Right here. Right? We went above this. Could we have foreseen it turning around on this? Could we have foreseen this turning into support when previously this had been resistance? Yeah, we could. Okay. Now it's shot up to here. Should you be out? Yes. You should have sold. How much? Everything. Sell it all, right? And then put your buy order right here. Take everything that you made, make your little itty bitty buy order right here, a bigger buy order here, and a bigger one, and a bigger one, and a bigger one. Okay. This is a great market to make money on, but the money has already been made in it. This is not the time to be buying. This is a time to be setting your buying orders down here, down here, down here, and then waiting. Because what you're going to see is you're going to see it turn around and come to here. And when it does, you're going to want to buy again in case it comes up and does one of these again. Or it's going to come down and you're going to be buying more, and then it's going to come up and make you your money. Now the question was, how about when you put all your money in and then nothing happens? Seen that a fair bit. You're just playing the waiting game, just sideways movement. Okay. So first of all, you shouldn't have put all your money in. What I'm showing you is how to allocate for specific opportunities, and then what you want to do is you want to allocate a portion of your portfolio, not all of your portfolio, for one opportunity. What you want to do is you want to do this across 10 opportunities. You want to do this across 20 opportunities. You want to do this across as many opportunities as you can possibly get your hands on. Okay? And the reason for that is because you don't know when a specific opportunity is going to go sideways, like XRP is doing, versus when a specific opportunity is going to go up and up and up to make you money, like Litecoin is doing. So let's say that we've picked out 10 opportunities that we're going to allocate for. What we can do then is we can say, okay, how much is my portfolio? If my portfolio is $10,000, then what that means is that I can allocate $1,000 for each of these opportunities. Okay. What's more is what that $1,000 needs to be allocated for down here. Which means that if we're allocating $1,000 of our $10,000 portfolio, then $500 needs to be allocated for here. 250, 125, and all the way back up, and we can figure out exactly how much money we will have, we need to spend here at this point in time. Okay, and then when this thing goes sideways, with the $1,000 that you have sitting on the sidelines and it's not doing anything, well, go find another market. Go find another market that's not going sideways and invest in it. with the other $9,000 that you set aside. Go create more opportunities for yourself. Go find a market that just took a recent dive downward and start making a planned dollar cost average in. If a market is going sideways on you, go find another market to make money in and go invest in that market. This is not about timing the market. This is about time in the market. If you're in these markets for 6 months and you're just doing this, you're just putting your money into markets that have gone down recently, and you're taking your money out of markets that have gone up recently and making your money that way. This will make you money. It's about applying the strategy holistically over time. Timing the market is a bad idea. If I knew how to time the market, I would just tell you, well, it's about to go down. You should go ahead and just wait here. If I knew how to time the market, I'd say, well, you should go ahead and buy because it's going to go up further. We have to accept that our information is incomplete. And knowing that our information is incomplete, the best that we can do is make a plan that will keep us profitable no matter what happens, and then go to make that profit wherever we can, as often as we can. This is about diversification. So long as you have a plan in place that make you profitable, you can then apply that plan across as many different market opportunities to make you that money over and over and over again on a consistent basis. This is planning the trade and trading the plan. I think that'll do it for today. In tomorrow's lesson, we are going to be doing a lot more line drawing. We're going to be looking at more ways of analyzing these types of trends so we can better inform our decision making and make it possible to actually further optimize our plan. Because right now what we're doing is we're very blindly and very simply just going ahead and allocating every single one of these support lines. What if there was a technique? What if there was more information that we could use in order to eliminate some of these lines? And what if we had a better way of saying, well, this line's not going to get respected, but this one is? What if we could know that with some degree of statistical correlation ahead of time? Could we use that to make a better plan? Could we use that to optimize our plan when we're plan the trade and trade the plan? I really look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's lesson. Have a great day, everyone.